Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to a very early edition of the podcast of the Yari Show. It is Thursday, the 28th. Like I said, happy Thanksgiving. How is everybody's Thanksgiving doing? Mine hasn't even begun yet. They're still making the food. It should be done in supposedly another hour, but we'll see. Again, I decided to do a little early show. I don't know. I just decided to take care of things a little early, just so I know for certain that I wouldn't have to move the show, which I hate doing. I've been having to move the show a lot lately. I'm very sorry about that, but not today. Not on this day of thanks. So anyone that's listening, what are you thankful for? That's kind of like the cheesy, tagline, what are you thankful for? I'm thankful for a few things. I'm thankful that, the show's still around, that I still have the show, that people listen to it, people download it, that I get love for the show. I'm thankful for the people in my life, for friends, family, good job, good health-ish, and I got plenty to be thankful for. So, like I mentioned, or I didn't really mention this, but I am going to keep this particular episode, a little short. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. Just mainly Survivor Series, NXT. The fallout that happened on whatchamacallit, on Raw, and also NXT. Come to think of it, maybe I should have done it. Should have done this episode tomorrow so I can cover SmackDown as well. But we can just jump right into it. Not really waste any time. So should I talk about NXT or Survivor Series first? Let's talk about NXT. NXT was this past Saturday at the Rosemont. Or not Rosemont. It was in Rosemont, Illinois at the All-State Center. And the first match on the card was a pre-show match, Angel Garza versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, which I didn't see. Didn't get a chance to see the pre-show. I actually didn't get a chance... Well, I watched the show live. I just didn't see the pre-show. Actually, you know what? I lied. That was Survivor Series. I didn't get a chance to watch... Takeover live. I was at work, got home, and just turned on the event and just watched what I missed, watched it with my girlfriend and her sister, and we enjoyed every match. So this match I didn't see. It was 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Now we get to the main show. The first match on the card is the first ever women's War Games match. You got Team Ripley, Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Fox, and Dakota Kai. And on Team Baszler, you got Shayna Baszler, team captain, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and the NXT Women's United Kingdom champion, Kaylee Ray. Let's start with the beginning of the match. So, the first people in were on Ripley's side. What's going on, Pence? On Ripley's side was Candice LeRae. And then for Baszler's team, you had Io Shirai. Who, these two, I like watching these two work. These two go out there and just really fight. Candice LeRae, her past is that she wasn't afraid to get down during the ring. And Io Shirai is Io Shirai. She's amazing. She's good to look at and she's great to watch in the ring. So they had a good back and forth in the beginning of the match. And then the next couple people come from each team. You had Rhea come from Rhea's team, and then you had who was it? I think it was let's just skip to the Dakota Kai bit. So Dakota Kai is next to come out of the cage for Rhea Ripley's team. She comes out, and then she stops and backs up and goes and turns around and starts beating the shit out of Tegan Nox, her best friend. Which I called this. I mean, I think everybody kind of called this. The Dakota Kai heel turn. And I liked it. It was a lot better than I thought it'd be. So what happens is she turns around and starts beating the shit out of Tegan Nox. Like, really just beating the shit out of her. Fucking up her leg, her injured leg. And she takes off the cast. Or not the cast, the knee brace on her leg, and starts slamming the metal door on the cage, right on her leg. And Tegan is selling the shit out of this. Like, she is selling the shit out of it. Like, the way she's crying is just making you think, holy shit, it's like somebody stopped Dakota. Like, somebody needs to save Tegan. Like, Tegan seems like she's actually legit hurt. And, and I already like Tegan. I like her even more because, she's good at selling. Not a lot of people could have sold that the way she did. And she did an amazing job at it. So, Tegan and Dakota are no more. Which we'll get to that later on. So, now it is officially 4-on-2. It is Baszler's team, which consists of Baszler, Belair, Shirai, and Ray, versus Rhea's team, which is just Rhea herself and Candice LeRae. And you're wondering, what's going to happen, or is this just going to be a squash match? Which I was kind of hoping it wasn't. I was hoping, let them get some offense and let them make them look like they're going to win, but have, Baszler's team, throw out the final punch. And these broads are just beating the shit out of each other. Like, just straight up beating the shit out of each other. There's tables involved. Kaylee Ray, I thought did a really good job. I've never seen her wrestle. I've never even heard of her. I mean, I don't watch the UK show. I mean, I probably should, because from what I heard, it's pretty good. The crowds, from what I've seen, love it. They're, always white hot for it. So I probably should start watching it a little bit more. Just a Scottish woman. Yeah, there you go. She did a great job. Io, come on. Io's always going to do a great job. Especially that moonsault, spot off the top of the cage. Bianca always does a great job. Baszler does a good job depending on who she works with. And then, Rhea really stepped it up. I mean, I was always a fan of Rhea. Rhea actually she actually made a stop through here in San Antonio. She was at, River City Wrestling. So, ups to her. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm not just biased because I like Rhea. I'm biased because she got her start here. So, and then, Candice, I'm a big fan of. Candice always thrives. So, how the match ends is Baszler tries to handcuff Rhea to the post, but Rhea fights out, and she's able to maneuver it to where she is handcuffed to Baszler. And Baszler is selling it like, holy shit. Like, oh shit, this tall broad's about to beat my ass. And Baszler goes for a pump handle slam onto 2 chairs and pins her, and her team gets the win. So, her and Candice LeRae were able to fight through the scrutiny, through the hardships of this match, and able to pull out a win. So, good, good for them. Great match. Told a great story. It had a great beginning, a great middle, great end. Obviously, this isn't going to be on Mount Thirth radar. I mean, it should, but we'll see what happens. This was the match of the night. I mean, every match was in the candidacy to be the match of the night, but I think this was the match of the night, in my opinion. This was 27 minutes and 24 seconds. Next match, Pete Dunne defeated Damian Priest and Killian Dane to win the NXT, or to challenge Adam Cole at Survivor Series for the NXT Championship. I thought this match went on a little too long, personally. I'm not really too big a fan of either wrestler in the ring. I think Pete Dunne's okay. Damian Priest to me seems like he's a little I'm not gonna say he's bad in the ring, but he needs a little work. Killian Dane I think is good, but he needs a little work. Again, I thought this match went a little too long. This match was at 19 minutes and 56 seconds. You could have easily, shaven six minutes off of this match. Hey, what's going on, John, the cartoon guy? Hey, would you mind muting your mic, John? All right. Anyway, so you could have easily shaven 6 minutes off of this match and given it to the next match, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, Pete Dunne wins. I like the way he won. I like that they didn't try to make it look. Hey, yeah, don't worry about it, John. It's no sweat. I like the way he won because. Oh, fuck, I forgot. How did he win? I need to watch the match again. I know it had something to do. I think Killian Dane, was going for a slam, and he had Pete Dunne on him, and then he slammed Pete Dunne into Priest. I liked how they went for that instead of they made the win a little bit more believable for Dunne instead of Dunne made Priest submit or he made Dane submit. It looked a little bit more believable for Dunne to win, and I already picked Dunne to win because I thought he'd be a better matchup for someone like Adam Cole. So, next match on the card, you had Finn Balor and Matt Riddle. No, again, another great match. Great back and forth. My only pet peeve about the match, I wish it was a little bit longer. I had mentioned before, the previous match, they should have really taken 6 minutes from that match and given it to this. This really could have benefited from it being a little bit longer. 20 minutes even, or just 20 minutes in general. I picked Finn to win because, Finn has a brand new character. I mean, it's not brand new. It's not new, but for the WWE, it's new because he hasn't been a heel yet in the WWE. He's always been a face, and now he's this new Prince character, which I'm interested. Are they going to start calling him Prince Balor? I mean, because they can't call him Prince Devitt. I mean, they could, but I don't think they can. I mean, call him Prince Finn or Prince Balor. That'd be interesting. Finn as a heel, I'm really digging because I had my reservations about it, and then I started watching old school, Prince Devitt matches, and I just look at Finn, and it's like I said before about Finn. And Pince remembers this. Finn is just a very good-looking guy. And I'm not trying to be fruity or anything, but he's too good-looking of a guy for people to root for. A guy like Finn, you should not be rooting for. He's talented, he's charismatic, yeah. But when you see him, you can almost imagine him. I'm messing up words. I don't even know why. You can almost just imagine being at a bar and Finn's at the other side of the bar flirting with your girl. And in about an hour, he already has her dress down to her ankles. A guy like Finn Balor should not be a face. He was a prick in NJPW. I remember that, yeah. I remember that from what I saw. A guy like Finn should not be a heel. He naturally looks like a dick. I mean, for all accounts and purposes, Finn's a nice guy in real life. He's real friendly. He's very fan friendly, but he's a dick. He's a guy you should not be rooting for. The pretty boy with the 6-8 pack abs is not somebody you should be cheering for. So he works as a heel, and his heel promos work better because, again, John Draper mentioned. His Irish brogue sounds a lot more prominent because, as an American, and no offense, Pince, I'm just saying, this is the stereotypical, American view. We assume people from Europe, have this assumption that they think they're better than us. And that's not what I think, personally. I'm just saying that's kind of the stereotypical America. type view on guys from Europe, and that works perfectly for Finn. So I like this heel character, and I kind of hope it stays for as long as it can, even though the crowd's already cheering the shit out of him. So I like his heel. I like his heel promos. I like his heel work and his character in general. Matt Riddle. It almost seems like they're kind of not burying him, but it seems like they're kind of pulling him back a little bit, because he's someone that's a star. Like, he's a star already. He can be on the main roster and be a star. But it almost seems like they want to kind of maybe pull that back and not give him too much, not try and shove him down people's throats too much. They want to make him look human. They don't want to make him look like this unstoppable machine. You know what I mean? But I think this match really could have benefited and maybe been a little bit better if it was 6 minutes longer. But that's just how I saw it. The main event. The main event was Team Ciampa, the men's War Games match. Team Ciampa, Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Donovan Dijakovic, and mystery partner, which I'll reveal later on in the match, and Team Undisputed Era, which is Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. This match was 38 minutes and 26 seconds. So they teased in the beginning of the match who the fourth person was going to be, and nobody came out yet. It ends up being Kevin Owens, which I forgot about Kevin Owens, honestly. I assumed it was going to be somebody debuting or somebody making a one-night only appearance, which he did. But it ends up being Kevin Owens, which the whole crowd went apeshit when Kevin Owens' music hit. And I got another thing about Adam Cole. He really has good facial expressions. Like, he can sell when he's pissed off. He can sell when he's scared. When Kevin Owens came out, he was like, oh shit. Like, he had that good oh shit look on his face. And I liked it. So Kevin Owens comes out to join Team Ciampa. And everybody in the ring just proceeds to beat the ever-living shit out of each other. There's a good spot with Kevin Owens giving a... And here's the one thing I like about Kevin Owens before I talk about the rest of the match. He didn't take away from everybody else in the match. He didn't try to make the match all about him. In the end, it ended up being Ciampa and Adam Cole, finishing the match off, and Kevin Owens, focused on everybody else in the match. So I liked how they didn't try to make the whole match about Kevin Owens, for the rest of the match. So, ups to that. So Kevin Owens, goes for a frog splash on a table, which I believe either had Kyle O'Reilly or Bobby Fish, or might have been both. There's a pretty gnarly spot with fuck. I need to watch this match again. The match was so good, but I need to watch it again. Adam Cole gives a Canadian Destroyer, or what is it, a Panama Sunrise to Kevin Owens on the steel, on that thing in the middle with the steel. That looked pretty gnarly. The end of the match has Adam Cole and Ciampa on top of the cage. Ciampa puts Adam Cole in his finishing move and lands on a why am I messing up my words today? It's because I'm so hungry. They land on a table, which was looked like a pretty gnarly spot. And while that's happening, the camera shifts to Britt Baker, who has a very shocked and worrying look on her face. And Mauro Ranallo decides to fucking acknowledge Britt Baker in the audience, which I'm like, that's very interesting. So yeah, nice spot, nice landing. Obviously both guys are okay. Ciampa's okay, but Adam Cole had to be the one that got the worst of it, because he's the one that had to land. They land through a table, but that still had to hurt, regardless. I don't care who you are. That looked like it had to hurt. That's going to hurt anyone. So, Team Ciampa wins. Overall, another great show. I mean, it's. I'll compare both. You know, when I'm done talking about Survivor Series. But yeah, another great show. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I think if Riddle and Finn were a little bit longer, if they allowed those guys to go a little bit longer, I would have given it a higher score. But you know, again, it's Takeover. Takeovers are always going to be great. I think maybe the worst Takeover was 2017 Takeover Brooklyn when the main event was Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode. But that Takeover wasn't even that bad. That was just an okay Takeover. But we're going to move on to the main show, which is Survivor Series from the same arena, Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. Pre-show matches. 3 pre-show matches. The first match was a 10-team interbrand tag team battle royal, and with Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, you know, throwing out the Street Profits, which, I mean, battle royals are always going to be, Someone's knocking at my fucking door. I just had an Aleister Black moment. Somebody knock on my door. Why am I Batman? Why do I sound like Batman instead of Aleister Black? But yeah, these battle royals are always going to be hit or miss. Most of the time, it's miss. This battle royal basically screamed of, "Hey, look, Mom, I'm on TV." This is just another way for, you know, the guys to get paid. Which, hey, good. If it means the boys are getting paid, I'm all for it. But if you're gonna have a match like this, at least have a team that's actually over to win. I mean, the Street Profits are over. They're popular. They're good. How can your cats knock doors? They just scratch on it, dude. They just scratch the shit out of it. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode win. This match was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Moving on to the next match, Lio Rush defeated Akira Tozawa and Kalisto to retain the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. This match was actually the same time as the Battle Royal. I kind of caught a little bit of this because alright. So I was at work and I work in an office, so I just had the pay-per-view event. I just had the pay-per-view on, and I had the sound off for obvious reasons. So so I was kind of not really paying attention to the pre-show, to be honest, or just this match in general. So I didn't really see why Lio Rush should have lost this match because they weren't going to give it to just Tozawa. They sure shouldn't have given it to Kalisto. So that's about it. Moving on. Alright, so Triple Threat Tag Team Championships match, or Triple Threat match with the Tag Team Champions. From each brand, you had the Viking Raiders from Raw, you had the New Day from SmackDown, and you had the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish from NXT. 14 minutes and 35 seconds. This is an alright match. I guess I shouldn't say I'm surprised that a lot of people were assuming the New Day were going to win this match, because the New Day, I didn't think the New Day were going to win this match. Probably because the New Day don't really need to win all the time. I mean, the New Day are at a point where if they lose, it's not really going to do anything. They're already established, so the New Day's fine. Between the Viking Raiders and the Undisputed Era, those are the two teams that really needed those wins more, because the Viking Raiders, they're popular, but they still needed this win to kind of establish themselves. The Undisputed Era, I thought could have used the win a little bit more. And I honestly thought that I'm not even gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be a clean sweep for NXT. And yeah, I know I'm on crack for thinking that precious Roman Reigns wasn't going to take the pin, but the Viking Raiders win this. It was kind of like a reverse of how I thought the match was going to end. I thought Undisputed Era was going to win it and Kofi was going to eat the pin. But what happens is Undisputed Era does their finishing move on Kofi outside the ring, and then they end up back inside the ring with the Viking Raiders. Which I'm just like, in storyline fashion, and I'm going to quote Don Tony, storyline stupidity, why not do that to Kofi when you're in the ring, when the Viking Raiders are already out of the way? I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, the Viking Raiders, which I'm fine, I like the Viking Raiders. Next match, you got the 5-on-5-on-5 Survivor Series triple threat elimination match with the women. You have Team NXT. You have Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, and Toni Storm from NXT UK. Looking good in those shorts, by the way. You got Team Raw, which is Charlotte, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan. Why? I don't know. And if you hear any noise, my girlfriend's cousin and her kids are here. Team SmackDown, you got Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross. This match wasn't bad. It was a little sloppy at points. I mean, granted, you don't look at some of the women in the match; they're not that great. You look at SmackDown. SmackDown probably had the weakest team because the only ones that were good, that were decent enough to carry the match, was Sasha and Nikki. Carmella, sucks. She's just garbage. Dana Brooke, why she still has a job, I don't know. And then you got Lacey. Lacey's not bad. She's still learning. She's getting a little bit better. And Sarah Logan, I don't know why she was. I haven't even heard from Sarah Logan in months. Pence. Yeah. That's your opinion, Pence. I'll just leave it at that. She's a Viking. Yeah, she's married to one of the Viking Raiders. I know that. I'm surprised nobody talked about this. I like that spot where Io Shirai and Kairi Sane are in the match, and they're just staring down each other, and then Carmella is in the ring just saying, trying to get their attention, like, hello, I'm here, I'm in the ring, just ignoring her like the trash she is. And then she tries to shove Kairi, or it was either Kairi or Io, and then she just, gets, punched, and she just gets out of the ring. So that was a nice spot. There was a point in the match where Io and Tony supposedly got hurt, and then they went to the back and then came back at the end of the match. Charlotte tried to start something with Asuka, and Asuka ended up spitting mist in her face. And then that's when Lacey came in and pinned her, which I'm just like, wait, like, if you have mist in your face, shouldn't you be trying to get out of the ring and get that out of your eye? And yet you still have the wherewithal to get pinned. Like, how do you know you're not getting pinned? Like, she has her legs kicking in the air. So it ends up coming down to pretty much everyone in SmackDown is eliminated. So it ends up coming down to, on the Raw side, you have Natty, and then, well, no, actually no, fuck. All right, on the Raw side you have Natty. Natty's the last one remaining on Raw. On SmackDown you have not Carmella, Sasha, and then for NXT there's Rhea and Bianca. And then Bianca ends up getting eliminated, so then it comes down to Rhea. And then Sasha and Natty make it seem like they're going to take out Rhea. And then Sasha takes out Natty and pins her, so it ends up coming down to Sasha and Rhea. Alright, here's where the match kind of gets weird for me. Natty needs to go home and look after TJ. Well, I mean, I don't know if TJ even wants her home. Like TJ doesn't seem like he's attracted to her. He looks like peanut. He looks like vagina makes him want to throw up. Like I don't know. Like he refuses to have kids with her. So Rhea and Sasha duke it out, which I'm just like, okay. I mean, I get it that Sasha is supposed to be on the main roster and that being on the main roster makes you more superior, but it's like, Rhea looks like a killer. She literally looks like she could have been in the Terminator movie. She looks like a fucking killer. And Sasha is like the size of one of her legs. Why the fuck is this going on a little longer than it should? Again, you want to make it look competitive. You don't want to make them look. You don't want to make the NXT, girls look too good. You want to kind of make it seem, she's in the ring with a great champion like Sasha Banks, and it's like Rhea could have just went in there and beat the shit out of Sasha Banks. She could have booted her, gave her a big boot and just 1, 2, 3. That's it. Here's where the match kind of eventually the NXT women won, but here's where I didn't like how the match ended. So Io Shirai and Toni Storm came back and distracted Sasha, which to me I'm like, don't you think that's going to make Rhea look a little bad? Because the night before, her and Candice were out there like killing it, pretty much killing each other trying to get this win. Not killing each other, but like beating the shit out of 4 other broads and looking like a bunch of badasses. And you're telling me that Rhea's going to have a hard time with a fucking with some girl who has purple or blue hair that's the size of her fucking leg. Like, I didn't like how I didn't like how they won. I'm glad they won. I'm happy they won. I just didn't like how they won. That's just how I saw it. I'm surprised nobody else picked on it. This match was 28 minutes even. So, that is the second win for NXT. I'm not going to keep tally because it's just going to be too confusing. So you got the the next match on the card, which was Roderick Strong, the North American champion for NXT. You got AJ Styles, who's Raw's United States champion, and Nakamura, who's the SmackDown Intercontinental champion. This match should have been a little bit better than it was presented. I don't get why they just didn't let these guys go out there and work. Like, why? Especially if you have guys like AJ in the ring. Especially if you have Roderick Strong. Especially if you have Nakamura. This should have been the match of the night. This should have been a match of the year candidate. This should have been a Meltzer Thick Thar, spectacular. No, it should have been a lot better than it was. I don't see why WWE can't. Like, I get it. They have to choreograph the match. You have to script it, whatever. But let these guys call it in the ring. Like, give these guys bullet points on what to work with, and just let them call it in the ring. Like, you really could have had you really had the opportunity. The opportunity for this show to be better than TakeOver was there. But for some reason, the main roster they refuse to let the wrestlers call their matches in the ring. I don't know why. But, not my favorite match. I was a little disappointed in it. 16 minutes and 45 seconds. Roderick Strong wins, which I was surprised about that. I picked AJ to win. Next match, you got Adam Cole, Bebe, defending the NXT Championship against Pete Dunne. Eventually he wins. His match was 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Pete Dunne just really likes fingers, doesn't he? Because, Adam Cole was selling rib injuries from the previous night, and all Pete Dunne can focus on were Adam Cole's fingers. Like, even if you're a heel, whether you're a heel or a face, like, if you clearly see somebody has a weak spot, you go after that. But he's more focused on fingers. That's really my only complaint. The rest of the match I thought was pretty good. The crowd seemed like they liked it. Granted, it seemed like it was, audience members from the night before, but they seemed like they liked what they saw. I don't think they've really been introduced to Pete Dunne all that much. They've been more accustomed to Adam Cole in the past 3 weeks. So it was really their first time seeing Pete Dunne. Again, I think Pete Dunne's okay. I'm not that crazy about him. I really think he needs to change his attire. I'm not a fan of his attire. I don't like singlets for some reason. Unless you're a big man, you really should not be wearing. In my opinion, unless you're a big man, I don't really care for singlets. A big man or a woman, but I don't really care for singlets. I don't know why. It just looks weird. So Adam Cole gets the win, which is, not that surprising. I mean, they're not going to have Adam Cole drop it on a WWE pay-per-view to Pete Dunne. Or if he's going to drop it to somebody, it's going to be somebody bigger, like a Finn or a Ciampa. Or even a Gargano. I don't know. So you had the next match, which was The Fiend defending the Universal Championship against Daniel Bryan. For the love of Jesus, can they please turn off the red lights? Like, I get why they have to use the red lights. Like, he's supposed to be this comic book supervillain. I get it. But the red lights are super fucking distracting. Like, they really take me out of the match. Like, okay, here's the best way you can use the red lights. Obviously for his entrance. But use it in certain points in the match. Don't use it during the whole match, because I feel sympathy for anyone who's there live and has to experience that shit. So I'm pretty sure it hurts people's eyes, because the whole time you're having to squint, what the hell's going on? Who am I looking at? Here's the best way you can possibly use it. When the Fiend is out of control, when he's about to just beat the shit out of people, then that's when you use it. Or if he's coming out to beat the shit out of somebody that's talking shit, that's when you use it. Don't just try not to use it during a whole wrestling match. I thought this was probably his best match as the Fiend. His series of matches with Seth, I didn't really think were that good. You have someone like Daniel Bryan, who's always going to make something look good. I like the offense again. I liked how they didn't make Daniel Bryan look scared, like they did with Seth. And we'll talk about Seth in a bit. But Daniel Bryan looked like he was more pissed off than scared. Like, this guy won't go down. What the hell? I'm giving him everything I got. He won't go down. And again, it was a good match. It was the best match that The Fiend has had. And you had a guy like Daniel Bryan bring it out of him. And the finish I liked too, because I liked how he did the mandible claw, which was, he didn't use it as submission. He used it as more of a way to take somebody down and then pin him, because he took one of his arms and then pinned his legs against him to use it as a pinfall submission, which I thought was pretty cool. I like it. But I seriously hope they stop it with the red lights already. It's just, I have a feeling that they're getting a lot of complaints about it. This match was 10 minutes and 10 seconds. So, makes sense. The Fiend should not be out there having 30-minute wrestling matches. Next match was probably the match of the night. The men's Survivor Series Triple Threat. For SmackDown, you had Roman Reigns, you had Braun Strowman, you had King Corbin, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G, which I hate that name. And then for Raw, you had Seth Rollins, you had Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Ricochet. For NXT, you had Tommaso Ciampa, Damian Priest, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Walter. To begin the match, Seth Rollins was wearing this, I don't know if it was a basketball jersey, or it looked more like a baseball jersey than a basketball jersey, where it's kind of reminiscent of a Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls jersey, which, that's where Survivor Series was, which was in, Chicago. And he still couldn't get cheered. To me, that's just the most cringy thing he could do. That's probably one of the most cringy things he's done lately, is try to placate to the crowd even though they hate him. I don't even think Roman tried to do that. But yeah, the whole Seth thing is just, it needs to end. I'm glad it looks like it's coming to an end. But the beginning of the match, Walter, who's over as fuck, ends up getting eliminated quick by Drew McIntyre, which bad choice by WWE. Bad choice to have him eliminated. If you're gonna have anyone that should have gotten eliminated first, should have been Damian Priest. It should not have been Walter. Why was Damian Priest even in this match? Why wasn't Dijakovic in this match? It would have made 10 times more sense to have Dijakovic in this. Dijakovic has proven himself a lot more on NXT lately than Priest has. Priest hasn't really done really much since being on NXT. Dijakovic's been in a lot more high-profile matches in NXT. The crowd knows who he is. So why not put him in there? He would have been more beneficial to the match, from the show standpoint, because he's, what is he, 6'7", 6'8"? Having him go in there and, appear next to Drew McIntyre, who's, the same size, same height, and Braun, that would have been good. That would have been good for him. That would have been a good rub for him, but for some reason they put Priest in there. I don't know why. I'm not crazy about Priest. I already mentioned that. So Walter gets eliminated quick, and the whole crowd did not like it at all. You eliminate the NXT UK champion, a guy who looks like a legit fucking killer. Like, why? But, man. So he gets eliminated. I can't really remember the eliminations by heart. I'm just going to look at everyone's name and see how they got eliminated. I know Braun got counted out, which that makes sense, because who are you going to have pin Braun and make it look believable? I mean, you could have did a bit where, Team Raw and Team NXT takes turns on, not really a cold, I'm just, clearing my throat. I'm not sick, I promise you, but, I just ate something. I didn't eat dinner yet, but I had a little snack, and it's just, it's coming up. I'm starting to get a cold, I think, so I need to stock up on allergy meds. But it would have been interesting if Raw and NXT were taking turns on, using their moves on Braun, and then they eliminated him. That would have been interesting. But they count him out, so that works. There's a nice little spot where Braun and Keith Lee literally run into each other. And then when that happens, Drew McIntyre does a Claymore kick to Braun outside the ring. And then gets back. Him and Keith get back in the ring because they're the legal men, and then Braun gets counted out. What's next? King Corbin eliminated by... He actually technically got eliminated by Roman, because Roman took him out, and then Ciampa pinned him, which I thought was kind of funny. Mustafa Ali ends up getting eliminated by Seth. Shorty G... What did he get eliminated by? Oh yeah, Kevin Owens. There's a nice little spot where Kevin Owens is going for a frog splash, and he's looking at Ciampa, he's looking at Shorty G, and then frog splashes him, and then pins him, and then he gets eliminated. So, team... Okay, who else got eliminated? Seth... let's just talk about the rest of the match. Head cold suck, fighting congestion myself gives me my effing voice. Yeah, I tend to get sick around this time, unfortunately. What can I do? So, a good little back and forth. It ends up coming down to... Seth is a head cold for everyone. Yeah, he is. Randy Orton eliminates Damian Priest by RKOing him. And then Matt Riddle ends up pinning Randy Orton, and then pins him, eliminates him, and then Randy Orton RKOs Matt Riddle after he's, while he's celebrating that he pinned him, and then Corbin pins Matt Riddle, which that pissed me off. I get why it happened, but it still pissed me off. Ciampa ends up getting... I think he got pinned by either by Roman or Seth. I know it was one of those two, because I know both of them use their move on him. So on Team Raw, it comes down to Seth. On SmackDown, it ends up being Roman. On NXT, it ends up being Keith Lee. Nice back and forth. The crowd was really high for it. I'm surprised it ended up being Keith Lee in the end. I would have figured it would have came down to Ciampa or even Riddle. But I was surprised from what I saw. I was very pleasantly surprised from what I saw. Or in the end, Keith ends up, clean pinning Seth. Seth goes for a curb stomp, and Keith does a spirit bomb, which, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, that's pretty dope. Which is a sit down power bomb, or a variation of the Batista bomb. Pin Seth. And it comes down to Keith Lee and Roman. So they fight for basically, I think it was roughly 2.5 minutes. And they're going back and forth, and the crowd is hot for it. And Roman is really just selling. That's what I gotta say I like about Roman. Roman is really just selling for everybody. He's making people's shit look good. It's where you think they're gonna win. Cena wouldn't have done that shit. I mean, Cena didn't do that shit until his last 2 or 3 years in the company. But Roman took a pretty dope spirit bomb from Keith. It looked gnarly. He sold the shit out of it. Kicks out barely at 2.75. And then Roman goes for... And then he tries to go for what I think was a variation of a Vader bomb. And then Roman spears the shit out of him. Which, again, Keith Lee for a 240, 250 pound guy, he took a really gnarly looking spear. So Roman gets the win. Team SmackDown wins. And Roman ends up showing respect to Keith in front of the crowd. The crowd cheers both men. The crowd doesn't even boo Roman. The crowd didn't even boo Roman. They cheered Keith, and they didn't boo Roman. They booed Seth, but they didn't boo Roman. Which a year ago, Roman would have been getting booed out of the building. But now the fans have accepted Roman, so that's good. And I've always liked Roman. I've always been a fan of Roman. I didn't like how they pushed him, but I've always liked Roman. I like Joe. I like Joe Anuwa, the guy. So, the talk going around is that Vince McMahon liked what he saw from Keith Lee. He actually gave Keith Lee a standing ovation and hugged him. And the talk is that they want to debut him on the main roster pretty soon. Preferably at the Royal Rumble. They might even have him face Brock and beat him. That's what I read. I usually don't really report, rumors or, Meltzer type news, but it makes sense. You just like the Samoans called Joe. You're right. I like Joes, especially when they're Polynesian. You're right. This match was 29 minutes and 25 seconds. I think it was the longest match of the night. Yeah, longer than the women's match. The next two matches. Next match was Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship in a no-holds-barred match against Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio dressed like the Joker from the Joker movie. I appreciate the effort, because I know Rey likes to dress up, for big events. He'll dress up for Mania. He'll dress up as comic book characters. He's dressed up as Spider-Man and The Flash before. He dressed up as Joker 10 years ago, actually, at WrestleMania 25, when he won the Intercontinental Championship from JBL. But I think this was the wrong time to play dress-up, because it's just how the storyline goes. The storyline is that this guy, Brock, made his life miserable. He beat him up, he beat his kid up, and he did it more than once. He didn't just do it once. He did it twice. 3 times, actually. And it's in storyline fashion, especially since it's a no-holds-barred match, you shouldn't be going there with just your regular mask and in a t-shirt and jeans with your paper towel holder lead pipe. Wouldn't that make more sense? Instead, you decided to go out there and look like the Joker, which, again, I don't have a problem with it. I just think it was a bad call to wear it in this event, because it's babe, I'm gonna get revenge on this guy. He humiliated me. He humiliated our son. He made our family look bad. Anyways, give me my clown nose. You know what I mean? So it was just bad placement on Rey's time. He should have saved it for another event. But Brock wins, of course, which we all knew Brock was going to win. During the match, Dominic interferes, tries to throw in a towel, and then Ray, he shouldn't have cosplayed in general. He should have just came out there wearing his like a regular, like his one of his regular masks and like his t-shirt, or not even a t-shirt. Just come out in like jeans, look like a badass. Come out with your lead pipe, and that's it. That's just my opinion, Vince. But Dominic comes out there and tries to throw in a towel for his father. Brock tries to choke him again, and then Ray comes up and low blows him. Dominic low blows him. Ray takes his lead pipe and beats the shit out of Brock with it. Dominic comes in with a steel chair and starts beating the shit out of him, with the steel chair, which he looked good with that steel chair. Like, I don't know how much training Dominic has gotten, but he looks good. He looks decent in the ring, and I know it's weird saying he was able to swing that chair pretty good, but that's why they say leave it to the pros. And Dominic looked good, getting those steel chair shots in. And so they both go for a double 619, which I thought was a nice moment. Father and son 619. They both go for frog splashes, onto Brock. Not at the same time, like Brock did. Dominic did a frog splash, and then Ray did one. Goes for the pin, and then Brock kicks out. He just gets up and beats the shit out of both of them. He suplexes the shit out of Dominic, and then he F5s Ray, and then wins the match. And that's it. Again, and the match went the way I kind of thought it would. There really is nobody that thought Ray was going to win. This was just a way to give Ray kind of that last hurrah, like his last big run. Because I doubt Ray is going to... I would think a year from now Ray's going to call it quits. And Dominic's going to kind of take over the reins as the new Mysterio. Or maybe even not. I don't know. But we move on to the main event. Wait, how long was the match? Wait, I just had the poll up. The match was 7 minutes even. So it makes sense. It was a Brock match. So we go to the main event. Triple threat women's match. Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, versus Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, versus Bayley, who came out wearing some weird Middle Eastern garb on her head, who was the SmackDown Women's Champion. Which was the main event of the evening, which I was very surprised about. The match was 18 minutes and 10 seconds. The crowd did not care about this match. The talk is that Vince didn't like the match, which, duh. I don't know who convinced him to make this the main event. It was just not a very good match. This really should have been maybe the second to last match or middle of the card match. The Men's Survivor Series match should have been the main event because it was pushed more. The idea of the NXT versus NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, the big men's match, it was pushed more. It ended all 3 shows. Like, it closed out Raw, closed out SmackDown, closed out, I was about to say Friday Night SmackDown. And NXT. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I tend to do that when I ramble on. And then this match ended the show? I don't get why. I don't get it. I saw this match and went, this is definitely going to be second to last, or it's going to be middle of the card. Because it would have been interesting if it was just Becky and Shayna. Bayley, at this point, the only thing I care about is seeing her in those shorts. Or just in those tight pants. WRF169 _ would you mind muting your mic, please? Yeah, Bayley she had that big heel turn and she got her Karen mom haircut, and that's really all about that's really about I don't know why I'm fucking more saying. That's really all she's done. She hasn't really done anything else besides become a heel and destroy her Bayley balloon putties or whatever the fuck you want to call them. So she, Karen mom haircut with a really just nice ass. That's really her only appeal to me. Hey, you want to call me a pig? Call me a pig. But that's really her only appeal to me. Shayna winning, I'm glad. But, Becky... What I didn't like about Becky in this match, the first thing was that after the match, Shayna won the match fair and square. She made Bayley tap out. And then she attacks Shayna to make it all about her. Which I'm just thinking, doesn't this make Becky look bad? Doesn't this kind of make her look like a sore loser? I don't see why they needed to have that happen. And John Draper brought up a good point about Becky. She's not as over as people think she is. And I don't think so either. It's just, she's very talented. She's very popular amongst the fans. There's no doubt about that. But I think after seeing Rhea Ripley, I think the fans are starting to kind of see through the gimmick already. Because Rhea legit looks like a badass. She legit looks like someone who could beat the shit out of people. Even guys. John Draper is more over than Becky. I don't know if... I'm thinking... Maybe I should use that as the title for this episode. John Draper is more over than Becky. Becky's just not... She's not that popular. And I love Becky. I love Becky to death. I've always been a Becky fan. But she's just not that popular. She's not as popular as people think she is. These weird the man gimmicks and her referring to herself as the man and chewing gum even though she's not chewing gum. And then talking about how she's going to beat the shit out of people. It just... Something is not working for her. I don't like it. I personally think she needs to turn heel. Do what Seth is doing. Do what Seth did on Raw. Have her turn heel. Do something, because I think you need to get that title off of her already. That title needs to come off of Becky. Yeah, it's just a gimmick, Vince. Who would you put it on though? Kind of like the obvious thought going around is that it could be Ronda. Ronda's coming back. She's still hurt. Is she still nursing that injury? Because I know she almost chopped up her finger pretty much. But the Becky thing is not working anymore, especially with Rhea. Especially now that people know who Rhea Ripley is. They're like, oh, so that's who Becky was supposed to be. Or that's what Becky is supposed to be. But the main event was not very good. Bad thought, whoever thought that would be a good main event was just not thinking straight. They probably should maybe even get fired for having that as a main event. But that was Survivor Series in a nutshell. That was your Survivor Series, which, not bad. Not as bad as it has been in the past few years. How would I rate it? I have to deduct points for the main event. I give it. It wasn't that bad, Pence. Come on. I have to give it maybe a. I'll give it maybe a 7.5 out of 10. A strong C+. And highlights and lowlights, it wasn't that bad, Pence. It really wasn't. You're entitled to your opinion just like everybody else. I'm just saying, I don't think it was that bad. Compared to recent years, it wasn't that bad. But, again, I sound like a broken record. TakeOver was better. TakeOver was better than Survivor Series. They had the opportunity to make this maybe on par with TakeOver, but again, they like to book the whole match. Instead of just saying, hey, go out there and focus on A, B, C, and D and figure it out. And then figure out the rest of the match. Instead, they go, okay, so you're going to do a top rope suplex, and you're going to do another suplex, and you're going to do a suplex and a super kick, and then another super kick, and then a super kick on top of the rope. It's like, just let these guys call a match, especially when you have guys like AJ Nakamura and Roderick Strong in the ring. Let them call a match. They're capable of doing it. I thought the men's match was pretty good, especially, the ending with Lee and Roman, which is something I wouldn't mind seeing someone down the road. The worst match of the night was the main event. I mean, there's no doubt about that. That really had no business being in the main event. Should have been in the middle of the card. I thought Roderick and AJ and Nakamura should have been a lot better than it was. The women's match I thought was good. I just didn't like the way it ended. It kind of made Rhea look a little weak, in my opinion. Ray and Brock was kind of how I thought it'd be. Adam Cole and Pete Dunne was really good. But yeah, I mean that's really how I view the rest of the night. Obviously, Takeover ended up doing a lot better. Takeover, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think I mentioned that. Match of the night at Takeover was the women's War Games match. Finn and Riddle was really good. I just thought it could have been longer. It could have benefited from being maybe 6 minutes longer. And you could have taken time from that triple threat match to give it to Finn and Riddle. But again, it's just an opinion. This is just an opinion show. So, what can we talk about? We're an hour, I believe. Yeah, we're an hour and a minute. I'll try to close it out in a bit. So, yeah, on Raw the very next night, I only saw the beginning. I didn't really get to see the rest of the show. But Seth Rollins opens up the show by having a town hall meeting and just literally chastises everybody in the ring. Basically turn heel, which is, again, good. You need to turn him heel. He cannot be a face anymore. And I'll be surprised if they keep him a face after this. So he chastises everybody in the ring. He tells Charlotte, you couldn't get the job done for your team. You weren't even the last person remaining, and you call yourself a Flair. And Charlotte's reaction to it, that was kind of funny. So she walks away. Who was next after that? He talked shit to Ray, which I thought was funny because Ray wasn't even in the match. Like, he had his own match with Brock. He says, I beat Brock twice, and you and your stupid kid couldn't even get the job done. And then Ray just walks away. He goes up, which I'm surprised he didn't say anything to War Raiders because they're the only Raw win of the night. So I don't know why he didn't say anything to them. So everybody walks away, and then Kevin Owens comes back to the ring and he stuns him. Flash forward to the main event, which I did see. The main event was Kevin Owens versus Seth, and then the AOP comes out and attacks Kevin Owens, and it looks like they're building a faction with Seth and AOP, which good, interesting. Seth looks like he would benefit from having people around him. Seth by himself doesn't work. Seth, War Machine, I don't call him anything else. Okay, fair enough. I like War Machine better. So it looks like we're getting heel Seth versus face Rollins, which is good. Or not heel Seth versus face Kevin Owens, which is good. Seth needs to be a heel. Kevin Owens, was working well as a babyface. How's that in the background? How's what in the background? If you're hearing anything in the background, that's people in the kitchen. They're still cooking. Who's in the background? That's either my girlfriend or her sister or her cousin. That's one of the three. Or it's probably her kids. They're watching Infinity War, so it's keeping them busy. But it looks like we're getting heel Seth versus face Owens. Seth with AOP. Does that mean Kevin is going to align himself with War Raiders. That's interesting. That's a very interesting tandem. And then NXT from last night, I watched it, loved it. Great show, as expected. Beginning of the show has a Josiah Williams come out and do a hippity hop rap song. Yeah, I did say hippity hop, by the way. With everybody in the NXT locker room coming out and celebrating that NXT went over at Survivor Series. And then, NXT comes out and says, what the hell are you guys doing? Why are you celebrating? We're the ones that really won. And, whatchamacallit? Tommaso Ciampa talks a little shit, and then Finn Balor comes out and talks a little shit, and then Tommaso Ciampa challenges him to a match later on, and then Keith Lee gets on the mic saying, that sounds like a good match. And then he points on his spear saying, get your asses in the ring, let's wrestle. It was announced that it was Keith Lee and Donovan Dijakovic versus the Undisputed Era for the tag titles. During the match, Bobby Fish gets hurt. I think it was his leg. Keith Lee throws Bobby Fish out onto Kyle O'Reilly and he hurts his leg. So he had to leave, and then they replaced him with Roderick Strong. Good back and forth action. There was a nice spot. Oh my God. Again, props to Adam Cole for taking this spot. He comes out to try and, distract. And then Keith Lee, tackles him literally into a row of people, which they're obviously wrestlers. They're obviously, trainees. But Adam Cole really sold the fuck out of that bump. It was so funny. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And Adam Cole just sold the hell out of it. And props to Adam Cole. I need to see that spot again. Me and my girlfriend and her sister were watching it. We were just laughing at that spot. Oh my God. And in the end, Undisputed Era ended up getting the win and retain their titles. What else happened in the night? There was a Trevor Lee promo, which... You had NXT Cruiserweight title. You had Leo Rush versus Ozawa. Kind of what you figured. Okay match. Rush is going to win. You had Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae she had a nice promo. She said, I think she said something along the lines of, Dakota Kai is not getting her friend Candice LeRae tonight. She's getting Tegan Nox's pissed off older sister, which I thought was a nice promo. I assumed it was going to be some type of squash match to kind of get Dakota Kai over as his vicious heel. But then you remember, wait, Dakota Kai's not big. She's not tall. She's not big. She's kind of on the same size as Candice LeRae. So they went out there and had a nice little competitive match. It ends with Dakota Kai hitting Candice LeRae in the face with the knee brace. With Tegan Nox's knee brace, no less. And she proceeds to beat the shit out of her with it, even though the referee's telling her not to. Rhea Ripley comes out and stops it. She ends up chasing Dakota Kai out of the ring. Next match was... fuck, I'm forgetting the names. It was... the Asian bride with the big legs that broke NXT Carmelo's face last week. Somebody help me out. Victoria something. Anyways, they had a match. It didn't really mean anything, and the Asian chick won. And during the match, Shayna Baszler and her two goons came out and watched it, and afterwards they beat the shit out of her. And then Shayna Baszler just kind of talk a little shit, saying, I'm a two-time NXT Women's Champion. I'm the first, person to do that, and I'm better than everybody in the ring. Nobody can beat me. And then Rhea comes out, talks a little shit, and says, you pretty much saying I can beat you. Let's say we fight for the NXT Women's Championship, and that's really about it with that promo. You had Mansoor versus the dude from TM61. I'm sorry if I don't remember all these names. It seems like there's like 300 people in NXT. You get someone new every week. That was a decent match. And then we'll just move on to the main event. The main event, Ciampa versus Finn. The match was alright. Actually, it wasn't alright. It was really good. Very, very good match to watch. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer. I don't know. When I see guys like if I see a match like Ciampa and Finn, I'm like, this should just be a match on a takeover. Like, you shouldn't be giving this match away for free. Like, come on. That's just how I view it. They had a really good match. Ends up with Adam Cole coming out. He tries to hit someone in the face with a belt. The belt drops in the ring. Finn does his not coup de grace. What's the name of that? Pince. I think you might know. What's the name of that move that Finn does? That DDT, that like kind of inverted DDT. Is it called like 1925 or 1915 or something like that? I'm sorry I can't remember all these names by heart. It's called like 1950. I'll just call it 1925 or whatever. So Ciampa and wins it. Adam Cole comes out. Him and Finn, smile at each other, which they kind of tease. Is Finn going to be the new member of the Undisputed Era? They're going to reform the Bullet Club, and then Finn does a Pele kick to Adam Cole, which is kind of funny. It's kind of insinuating that he's going to be next in line for that title, which Finn is the NXT champion again. That'd be dope. I'm all for that. So that was NXT. Another great show. Watched a little bit of AEW. I didn't watch the whole show. I watched the beginning with the Jericho celebration, which I thought was funny. I thought it was so fucking good. There's no way you can take that title off of Jericho anytime soon. What is it? The Proud and Powerful. They give him a Boricua set. They give him chanclas. Where, I mean, I'm not Mexican at all, but I date a Mexican girl. And, one thing she will tell me is that chanclas, were used as a weapon, especially by their moms. They will beat the shit out of you with a chancla. They gave him an ounce. They gave him a 40 ounce, a little bit of a 40, which is the way they said it. They gave him a Boricua flag headband to wear, or bandana. I mean, Sammy Guevara came out with a cutout of him and Jericho like posing together, cheek in cheek, which that was kind of funny. They notice that Jake Hager ain't there, and Jake Hager's coming with a goat. It says, "Look, I got." I think it's like the first time he spoke in AEW. He's like, "I got it for you. Her name is Chris Jericho." That was too funny. And apparently anyone who was in attendance got a coupon for 50 cents off of a La Champion Chris Jericho shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, which, that's a nice looking shirt, I'm not going to lie. I'm tempted to buy it. Too bad it wasn't in Chicago, though. I could have used that 50 cents off. Oof. Chris Jericho's dad, Ted Irving, famous hockey player from the New York Rangers, came out talking a little shit to the Chicago crowd, saying, it's good to be back in New York. And he's like, oh wait, I'm in Chicago. I used to beat Chicago all the time. Blackhawks suck. They've always been wimps. It was a nice promo. And then he brings in Justin Roberts to read the letter that AEW gave him, saying, thank you. You've been a great champion. And he tells, Justin Roberts, I don't like your tone. And they just proceed to beat up Justin Roberts, and then SCU comes out and makes a save. The rest of the show I didn't really see. I need to kind of finish the rest of the show, but I only saw the beginning. The beginning I thought was funny. Again, Jericho, there's a reason why he's champion, because he gets it, and he has more of a personality than mainly anyone else in the company. I mean, MJF, is second to him, but I don't really see anyone else taking that title. Maybe Moxley. I don't know. But yeah, that's really the show. That's really all I had to talk about. That's really all I really have to talk about. There's really nothing else I have on par. Hopefully everybody's having a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone's eating plenty of turkey, plenty of stuffing, sleeping, doing whatever it is you do on Thanksgiving. Thank you to everybody that came to the chat room. Thank you, John the Cartoon Guy. Thank you, Pence. Thank you, WRF169_. I hope I pronounced that right. Shout outs to the Wrestling Soup. Shout out to Don, Tony, Kevin Castle show. Shout out to Trez, who's on one of their Patreon shows with Kevin, Dark Chronicles. Make sure you head to Make sure you're heading to both Patreons. They're only $5. It's not that expensive. Shout outs to Julian and Rob, who just did a show yesterday. And I'm playing. I'm not that petty sometimes. But shout out to them. They're good dudes. I love them. Shout out to Ruben Prime TV. I need to get him back on the show pretty soon. Shout out to B-Show Brian, who has his horror podcast on I believe Spreaker. It's a horror podcast. It's called Reanimated, I believe. Architect Podcast. Shout out to Peter, the Peter position. And really just shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who listens to the show, who supports it, who shows love, who shows up to the chat rooms, and who downloads it, and who just, every now and then, will just come in to say hi. Shout out to everybody. Happy Turkey Day to you too, John. And just happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully everybody has a good day, and drive home safe, and eat plenty of turkey. And if a strange man offers you drugs, you take it. And don't do anything I wouldn't do, and definitely don't do anything I would do. I'm gonna need to copyright that. Anyways, guys, take care. I will see you next week, same time, same channel. And, well, I'll be back next week at the accurate time, which is 6 p.m. But take care, guys, and peace out.